r/AskReddit, what ruined Christmas this year?
My brother got hit by a car the 14th of December and still lies in artificial coma in the hospital.
Speak to him or read him stories, let him know he is in a coma. Some people in comas can still hear you, he may be confused what is happening and hearing your words of comfort could mean the world. I'm sorry this is happening to you all. Frown.
My sister getting extremely drunk and telling us she wants to do heroin in a controlled environment to try and help our uncle, who abandoned his child for drugs, come back into reality. She isn't going to become a junkie, she just wants to know what it's like so she can try to help him. It's been an emotional couple hours trying to get the fact that this wouldn't work through her thick skull.
I had a GF whose younger 15-year-old sister tried this. She then spent a year ruining her and everyone else's life. She's dead now. Didn't make it to 17.
I have literally the exact same story. My ex wanted to put herself in an addict's shoes so she could be an effective counselor. She's dead now too.
Finding out one of my cousins is in really poor health. I hadn't seen him in a few months, but since then, he's gotten a hernia in his groin that's grown to the size of a soccer ball, and though he's only 27 or 28, he's gotten so sick, he looks and sounds like he's 45. This is in the span of a few months. He refuses to get medical attention for it, and I think he's killing himself by not doing so.
If he ignores it he could get himself killed over it. Hernia are not usually life-threatening if treated, but left alone they can cause serious issues. If there is anyone in your family he is more prone to listen to have them get real with him and see if he'll go to a doctor about it.
Mother died a few days ago and the apartment above me went on fire at 1 AM Christmas morning and we were evacuated. Lots of water damage.
Last Christmas Eve my mom, 71, died. New Year's Eve my dad, 78, had a heart attack and died. At mom's funeral reception the entire family got food poisoning from the food the church provided. Seems a bit comical now. Not the least bit funny then.
The power went off and never came back on. We had Christmas dinner at McDonald's. All the food was ruined.
Looking back, my fondest Christmas was the year my family was homeless and had dinner at a Chinese buffet. I like ham and all, but Chinese is my new favorite holiday food.
Everyone caught the flu. No one was spared. One by one my family members are falling ill and all of their post-Christmas plans are crumbling like so many gingerbread cookies.
Flu is really hitting hard this year. I work in a hospital lab and we're seeing tons of positive flu tests. It usually doesn't get the crazy until early February.
My niece and nephew's uncle on the other side of the family. His car was found randomly abandoned on the side of the road this morning, phone inside, vomit in the car, back tire shredded. Whole family had to go out looking for him. He also didn't bother to get his own children any presents because they were stolen out of his car. Edit, well, I didn't expect quite this level of interest. He's fine. Just an asshat. They found him at a friend's house, and then brought him home. This is by no means his first instance of selfish or reckless behavior, just a first on Christmas. To explain the relationship for those of you who have asked, it is my sister's brother-in-law through her husband. Not my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law's older brother. We're not technically related, other than sharing 2 nieces and a nephew.
I went through many Christmases when I was kid that were similar to this. Alcoholic father would make up a new lie every year why we didn't have any presents. His go-to was there in my work truck, I forgot them. He would just keep using this lie far after Christmas was done and just hoped we would eventually forget. We would stop asking but we never forgot. We usually found him passed out in his car in the morning still half drunk. He was also the type of person that would just get violently angry during every holiday. I think he's the reason why I hated Christmas for most of my life. Luckily I have a wonderful girlfriend with an amazing family that welcomes me in every year. I'm actually starting to enjoy the holidays now.
Found out my 19-year-old sister got married to her boyfriend 5 months ago and still hasn't actually told us yet. Apparently she's waiting to tell us until she visits. None of us like her boyfriend, now husband, and he doesn't treat her like she deserves. This visit will be interesting.
My fiancé canceled the wedding.
Same thing happened to me a decade ago. Here I am now, 6 years into an actual marriage with someone who loves me very much. Your present success now, but at least you're not divorced after a year, you know?
I dropped off my girlfriend at her parents' house as I was driving to my hometown. Her parents wished me Merry Christmas. 6 hours later she called me that she has met with her ex and she has feelings for him, and our relationship can't continue. Day before she said she loved me more than anything in life. We were living together 6 months and been together almost 2 years.
I work at an airport and we have to have a badge that lets us in the gates. Tarmac. Lost it, lost my driver's license, and my United Airlines ID badge.
Typhoon ripped through my family's town in another country, 8-hour time difference. Spent the whole of Christmas Day refreshing for updates. 36 hours, still no news. I'm going crazy waiting.
I'm so sorry, I really hope you will have some good news soon.
You must be a good luck fairy. I just received word that everyone is okay. Houses not so much, but material things can be rebuilt. Thank you so much for your thoughts.
My ex-wife not having the guts to tell me she was doing Christmas dinner with her sugar daddy's family. I don't give a shit if she was here, but she just ghosted my daughters and me. I even asked her yesterday if she was going to be with us for dinner and she said, "Of course I will, why wouldn't I?" It brought back horrible memories about why I left her ass in the first place. To be fair, I had a great evening with my daughters, but there was annoying anger in the back of my mind that I couldn't let go of. Edit, since folks are offering advice, I want to clarify that the ex and I normally get along very well. We have been separated and divorced for years. In the years since the divorce she has been dependable given that I don't ask much of her. She sometimes does little things that reaffirm my decision to not be in a marriage with her, but they don't affect me since I don't have to live with that behavior anymore. The reason last night pissed me off more than usual is because disappearing on the family was something she did during the last few years of our marriage, and it caused me massive amounts of stress back then. There are few things she can do to trigger bad memories, and that is at the top of the list.
My therapist told me one thing that has helped me immensely with my ex. I had a lot of anger because I expect her to act a certain way and got angry when she didn't. So you expect her to act like a reasonable, thoughtful human being, a totally reasonable thing to expect. But you divorce them most likely because they aren't, so you shouldn't be upset or surprised when this happens, and it's actually you being upset by your expectations more than their actions.
My mom used to say that when you expect something from a person, you're setting yourself up for a letdown.
A few months ago I decided to cut off my toxic drug-addicted mother. Of course, being the holidays, my grandmother and a few cousins decided I needed to get into the Christmas spirit and forgive my mother because it's Christmas. And my sisters miss me. I don't know what my sisters have to do with me cutting off my mom. My sisters are adults. We live 1,500 miles away from each other. Of course they miss me. I'm not forgiving someone who isn't sorry. I'm not allowing toxic people back into my life just because it's the holidays.
I'm not forgiving someone who isn't sorry. I needed to read that this morning. Stay strong. Keep the toxic people away. And never feel guilty about it.
My cousins got a mini bounce house and it popped with like 10 kids inside, all under 8. The amount of crying broke my eardrums.
That may have ruined your Christmas, but hey, I got a laugh out of it.
Gift that keeps on giving.
Me. Was invited to a lovely dinner by my boss with his extended family. Everything went amazingly well, even though I was nervous. I didn't drink anything due to medications, yet still managed to vomit profusely all over his car when he was giving me a ride home. Edit. Wow, what a way to wake up. Some extra context, I was promoted to manager for his company within the last month. The business is very small, 5 employees, and he learned that I would be spending Christmas alone and didn't want that to happen. I think the cause was most likely motion sickness. I live in a large city and haven't needed to be in a car for a very long time, this being the first in about a year. I was trying to open the door or window, but they were possibly safety locked, as he has recently had a baby. Thank you for the silver, and happy holidays. Edit 2, offered to have the car cleaned and he said no worries, more just worried if you're okay. Seriously locked out with best boss ever.
That sounds so rough, but it will make an amazing story for both of you in like 3 years, tops.
Everyone forgot I'm allergic to nuts.
Yeah. That happened to me, but I kinda pushed the nuts aside on the plate. How did it play out for you?
Fine after he got them off his chin.
Spent it alone and in my feelings. No good food was had either.
Can I order you some? Food, that is.
I'll have 2 number 9s, a number 9 large.
My disabled brother got a sloth shirt saying sorry I'm slow.
Okay, we need more details. Who was the giver? What was your brother's reaction?
It was my grandmother, who is fully aware. And his reaction was nothing because he can't read or speak. The problem with it is, although he can't communicate normally, I wouldn't describe him as slow. He is very clever and is really good at getting around his bad hand-eye coordination and figuring things out, like he set up our fans correctly one day to create an infinite loop for our balloons, and he has learned over years to play video games, and with a little help on the bosses beat God of War last year. He isn't slow, and it pissed me off that they saw that shirt and thought of him.
My 5-year-old looked at all his Christmas presents 3 days before Christmas, and the dog peed on the tree, which also got on many gifts.
Sucks when your children wreck things for themselves. My 6-year-old learned to read this year and found himself the present list. At least it wasn't detailed. But I relate. Hope the rest of Christmas was lovely for you.
I found out I was cheated on a few days ago. Edit, I'm overwhelmed with the love and support. Thank you all so much.
I'm so sorry. This hits home. I found out about my husband's affair while we were home for Christmas 15 years ago, and those were some awful days. In 1 year you'll look back and say, wow, I'm so glad I'm having this Christmas and not last year's. Big hugs to you.
Much appreciated, Heart. I haven't told many people about what happened, because it's kind of humiliating, especially after raving to everyone about how great he was. It's awful that something similar happened to you. Really glad to hear you've healed a bunch since the event. Sending hugs your way as well.
The humiliation is his for being an awful human being, not yours. My cousin stole my $250 and once she got caught said, "But I need it and me is too spoiled anyways." She then proceeded to get half of it after crying a fit and refused to give it back until she got some, and after all that I still don't know why her parents don't punish her, since they're actually half decent.
Every year from this point on, buy her a cheap Christmas card and write in it, "Remember that $250. I'm talking for the next 30 years.
This is a level of petty I can only aspire to be. I'm in.
My cat died on Christmas Eve suddenly. I had him for almost 15 years. It was sudden. But I still feel responsible. I love you, Neo. No one's gonna see this cause and late to post a reply, but I just wanna keep saying it until it feels real.